We sure are blessed. We live here in the South to have more sun and less of this right here. Carmen, that footage is hard to look at. Fires blazing, and not just one that we're reporting tonight, but several, and it's what y'all have been warning for months that this could be a possibility and our worst nightmare is coming true.
Absolutely, and it looks like we're really...
Look at this parking lot. It feels more like I'm reporting at a fair, and there's just an excitement in the air. People are smiling, laughing as they walk in and out.
Says there's no more room for anger as his default emotion, but he says the best part is this.
She says at this point, all she can tell me is that they're investigating the shooting as a home invasion. Again, the suspect in critical condition. Now, if you look over my shoulder, it's tough to actually see behind me, and that's another part of the story here, is that I can't get close. At least a dozen or more people have tried to actually cross through this.
The day we've been waiting for. It is Election Day. News 3 is on your side. We've been planning for this day for months. Ahead on News 3 Midday, we have live team coverage. We're joined now by both Greg Lloyd and Ashley Lewis. We'll get to them in just seconds. Hello and welcome to News 3 Midday. I'm Kristina Privette. I'm in for Mercer Van Shore. She's on assignment this Election Day. Well, midday, Muskogee County elections officials are busy correcting a computer glitch that interrupted voting for a few people at one Columbus polling location. Our very own News 3's Greg Lloyd joining us live in the studio with much more. Good afternoon, Greg.
Confirm that. Kristina?
All right, thanks so much, Greg Lloyd, with our top story. Of course, News 3 will continue to monitor any new developments with this voting issue and pass along that information just as soon as we can, both on here and on cell phones and online. Our local team coverage continues this midday. During the lunch hour, droves of people are showing up at the polls, but they have died down since this morning. News 3's Ashley Lewis has all of that and much more. How's it looking out there? Are you feeling tension? What are the lines looking like? Good afternoon, Ashley. Good information. Thanks, Ashley. Quick programming note for you. Take a look. CBS News starts providing national coverage at 7 o'clock tonight. That's Eastern Time. Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Our shows here on our network will not air on News 3 WRBL. Instead, on our other station, known as ERBL, also known as MeTV. That'll start at 7, and we'll have live local results crawling across the bottom of the screen. We'll also deliver local cut-ins beginning at 7:55 Eastern Time. Now, those local cut-ins with all of the local big races will continue right up until 10:55 p.m. That's after. Now, we will then, right after 10:55, begin a very special edition of News 3 Night Watch. You don't want to miss it. We'll also be sure to push along all of the same information to our many social media pages. But there's one more way we are on your side this election day with results. Our News 3's Michaela Singleton standing by live with a look at the WRBL News 3 app. Good afternoon, Michaela.
I'm Michaela Singleton on your side. Back to you, Kristina.
Getting us caught up on all that technical stuff. Thanks so much, Michaela. Well, besides all of the local races, we are busy tracking the national ones this midday. We're on your side with the big race everyone is talking about, the race for president. Today, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump face off for the final time. On the heels of a bloody campaign trail, only one of these candidates will take the spot as the 45th president. As News 3 has been reporting, both Trump and Clinton wrapped up excruciating final full days of campaigning in battleground states. And how is the weather faring and impacting this big day? Senior meteorologist Kurt Schmitz lets us know, and he even has an election sticker on. Good for you, Kurt.
Oh yeah, I was thinking ahead. I did early voting.
Off to very disturbing news. Federal officials this midday are investigating recent reports of potential terror threats that they say could be linked to the presidential election. Security is increasing at the polls even right now, but as Jeff Paguse tells us this midday, in news across America, the Department of Homeland Security is also worried about online threats. You are watching News 3 Midday. Even right now, Kurt Schmitz continues to track our weather on this big day. He's going to have the full report in just 2 minutes. Imagine if we could all get on a plane and travel back in time about 50 years. That's what 2 Columbus residents, originally from Cuba, say it would be like for them to return to their homeland. They say they will never fly back, at least not until freedom touches down first. You won't see Martha Stewart Truax or Christina Pena step foot on one of these planes, even though it's now much easier under President Barack Obama's administration.
Until the government changes,
nothing will change for the people.
In the new year, President-elect Donald Trump could throw a wrench into Obama's 2 years of progress. Although Dr. Troy Vidal with CSU sees Cuba through a different political lens, all three have the same end goal. What's best for Cubans?
Could bring about too rapid change that really hurt ordinary Cubans.
Vidal explains the reason behind his thoughts.
Home one day, next day it's the property of the state. A lot of animosity to this day.
Kristina and Marta praying Trump's policies prove more in line with their hearts. As for their hearts, they are sewn together.
Know each other sporadically. You know, we've found that there were several connections.
Their stories.
Military comes in with rifles cocked and lining you up.
Eerily the same.
They lined up, you know, the same type of thing.
Their friendship, deeply divine, has proven healing, but make no mistake.
The worst thing in Cuba is the lack of freedom, the persecution, the incarceration.
They say complete healing will only come when Cubans are no longer captives. Dr. Vidal tells me that CSU is now, through their history department, set to offer a study abroad to Cuba. On your side, Kristina, Privette, WRBL News 3.
If you build it, he will come.
Keep the ball in front of you. Not necessarily, says Heather Hayek, a mother of 2 boys. To her, sports is just as important as academics, especially baseball. She says the character lessons that happen on this clay can't be taught anywhere else. In addition to coaching, Hayek is also the president of the Mountain Hill Athletic Association. She says Mountain Hill needs its own field.
Harris County's growing. We have the Grove that has been approved here off of 315, which that's just going to bring in more kids.
She says raising money and finding land doesn't happen overnight.
I've been trying to find us somewhere to have some facilities for about 2 years.
This is Pate Park. This is where the kids from Mountain Hill get to practice, along with some other communities. But Heather says the only problem is it's crowded. She says at one time 3 different teams will practice on just one field, and they only get to practice for 2 days a week for 2 hours. She says if it rains, they're out of luck.
The glimmer in this baseball coach's eyes grew when she heard about a vacant baseball field.
It's beautiful. Here we are begging for practice.
But not beautiful anymore. Hayek asked her district commissioner, Becky Langston, about the vacant field.
Not from here, and so I don't know a lot about the political side of the ball fields, and it was not up for discussion. You know, those fields will not be used. And
there was no explanation.
No, I'm not really sure why. I don't know all the background.
Superior Court issued a permanent injunction against that type of activity on that land.
Up all the trees.
John Rogers owns the land, and he has a different interpretation.
My lawyer says there's no such thing as a permanent injunction on property. It could apply today to have it to go forward for the rezoning.
Rogers says he built the field about 10 years ago for his kids to practice. He says the county commission told him he didn't zone it correctly. He says the county sued him. In the end, it cost him about $40,000 in legal fees. But how much did taxpayers pay? I asked Charles Wyatt, a former county commissioner, if he remembers a ballpark figure on the total cost for the commission.
It was give or take $100,000.
$100,000. An average baseball field costs about $20,000. If his figure is accurate, it means Harris County could have built about 5 fields with that money. I asked Langston about the money.
The taxpayers paid a lot of money when this went to court. They paid a lot of money. Why would they fight something like this and spend all the taxpayers' money?
I have no other comment.
In the end, Rogers threw in his hat. Now, instead of kids playing ball, it's a graveyard where school buses go to die.
I want to see it redeemed for the community then at this point.
I would love to see somebody get use out of it.
But the commissioner tells us to not even think about it because the door is closed.
It's a no-brainer to me as to why we couldn't use those fields for 2 or 3 hours a night to practice.
Either way, this mother and coach says she'll keep working hard to find her kids a solution. On your side in Harris County, Kristina, Privette, WRBL News 3. Ben Link meditates about 40 minutes a day. Now, if you've ever tried the ancient practice, then you know all of this silence is not easy. Ben's been at it for about 7 years, but these long sessions of quiet haven't always been.
I was suffering from depression, and it was really dragging me down.
Now that meditation is a regular part of Ben's life, he says there's no more room for anger as his default emotion, but he says the best part is this.
It really enhanced my life, and I got off any medication I was on, and really just made me a happier person.
But he wasn't about to keep his light hidden. He set out on a journey to help the Chattahoochee Valley find healing. Matt and Tiffany Szabo and their marriage are the fruit of Ben's labor.
I mean, he's changed our lives, and he's a great person.
This former Army Ranger's wife says it's the perfect anti-inflammatory for her husband's spirit.
He's in the military, he's had many experiences, angry, just, you know, angry inside of me. So it was really, like, affecting our marriage. And this has brought him from to.
Stephen Muse with the Pastoral Institute shows us here an example of the difference between a non-meditating nervous brain and a meditating brain. William Douglas, the longtime pastor of St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, doesn't believe meditation is necessarily a myth, but he also doesn't believe it's magic.
There are probably some physical, some health benefits from meditating.
However, he says Christian meditation is different than the other types because it doesn't focus on emptying, but rather filling.
Meditation on what he is like, his precepts, his promises, his truth, his attributes, to know him better.
No matter what side of the aisle you fall on with meditation, it's certainly growing in popularity. Take a look here at these pictures of students meditating at school in Baltimore. The program is having so much success, it's actually replacing detention. But it doesn't surprise Ben, Matt, or Tiffany.
This guy right here is not the guy from a year ago. And that's how important and amazing that meditation has been for us, and for him in general. Totally different person.